Good morning. Yes, it's coffee time. And it tastes really good this morning, I'll tell you. I did all that paperwork yesterday, filed with the courthouse because I didn't get to go to court yesterday because my neighbor had postponed that trial date. So I'm here at the website. Yeah, I just checked it out. And it was beneficial. It was productive yesterday. There it is, the request to postpone trial. Technically move it up, so I don't know what date it's going to be moved up to, or if it will be accepted to move it up. But they have my request in there to move it up, so that's all that matters. And the pre-order, the pre-filing order for the Vexatious Litigant received, and that the entire file was forwarded to the judge who is in charge of the trial de novo. So that means he's seeing not only the case that is current with me going after her for committing perjury to get that restraining order, but he's also seeing that she committed that perjury because she lost on the original case of destroying my fence. Basically, yeah, she destroyed my fence, and I had to sue, and I won, and then she told a bunch of lies and got a restraining order, and yeah, so, but anyway, the judge is now aware of everything from the get-go. So hopefully that'll be to my benefit when I eventually do get in that courtroom. I'll, know what the date is going to be here, I guess, within a week, maybe sooner. But I just know that I'm hoping he agrees to at least move it up to January 28th. At least January 28th. That would be nice. I don't expect him to actually approve getting in there on the 17th when her son's there and she's already there. Because I really don't think the courthouse really wants to have to deal with 2 fights in one day. Hey, good morning. It is January the 10th, and it's been a couple of days now since the courthouse got my, my form, the Vexatious Litigant form, and apparently, yeah, even though it was accepted in the filing, it says, I guess, pre-filing order Vexatious Litigant submitted by Kelly, rejected on 1/9/2019. And I'm like, rejected? Why would it be rejected? And apparently, so I called my lawyer, and then I called another friend of mine who's also the lawyer, and they said it didn't say denied, which is a good thing. It means rejected means I did something wrong. I filed it incorrectly, or there was some procedural, I guess, aspect to it that I did not do correctly. So I called the courthouse. And yeah, apparently I'll receive notice probably later today or tomorrow or whatever that it was rejected due to a procedural, I did it too soon, apparently. Premature filing, kind of like premature kiss, So apparently, I guess I got to learn how to do it correctly so that it gets accepted. But it was rejected, the form itself. So, due to a procedure, I did wrong. So, and I still at this point don't know if the case has been accepted to move it up to a sooner date yet, but I'm waiting on that one. Okay, so I'm here at the website, the California Legislative Information Code section. I am going to read up on how to properly file 391.1. the Vexatious Litigant form. I need to know how to do this. Hey, yeah, it is still January the 10th. It's later, much later actually. I'm in my pajamas now, and I'm actually here at the website one more time, the Ventura County website, to see if by any chance my request to move up that court date from February the 11th has been moved up to at least January the 28th. But still no movement. The only thing I've seen is what was actually posted, I guess, this morning, that the Vexatious Litigant form that I put in there filed for, it was rejected. And I get the official notice, I guess, in the mail tomorrow or the next day, depending on the mail. And it'll show that due to procedure, it was a little premature in my filing. Apparently, I'm not actually, I guess, in the position. The way I understand it, I could be wrong, but the way I'm understanding it, I'm not in the position to file that form until I'm actually in the courtroom and the hearing is taking place. And then at the end of that hearing, at that point, I think that's when I submit it. And actually, the vexatious litigant thing, it doesn't really do anything for me at this point because I'm pretty well done with this. I mean, after this hearing takes place, that's supposed to be it. She's not supposed to be able to file for any more appeals. Of course, if she doesn't show up, then I'm still, I guess, stuck having to come back. But maybe the judge will just go ahead and have the hearing. I just know at this point, the roommate definitely is not showing up. So technically, they're not supposed to be able to have that trial de novo without all the defendants in attendance. But back to, that vexatious litigant form I'm trying to file. It really won't help me at all because it is almost over with. But it could possibly help the person that has to be in court with her after me because there'll be somebody else in that courtroom with her in the future. I am not the last person she's going to be in court with. But if it gets filed and if it gets deemed that she's a vexatious litigant, then she'll have to put some money down in order to have another court hearing or, have it approved by the judge, something to that effect. So I'm hoping that I do it correctly after we get in that courtroom. And, at this point in time, I still haven't seen my neighbor. I mean, Monday we were supposed to be in court, and she had put in for that postponement to February due to the fact that she was having surgery on that court date, and that was the only day her surgeon was available. And I was up at 6 in the morning waiting to see her vehicle take off, because when you have surgery, you have to get there early in the morning to check in, and everything else. But, I didn't see the vehicle leave. And then when the vehicle did leave, it left around 9 a.m. for about 20 minutes. So that doesn't mean she didn't get it done. It just means either A, the grandson went and picked her up or dropped her off, or just went to the store, but I don't know. I just know that it's been 4 days. I still haven't seen her, so I haven't been able to verify whether or not she's in a double sling, because, she did say she was having bilateral shoulder cup repair. So, again, that doesn't mean she hasn't had it done. It just means I haven't seen her. She is scheduled next week on Thursday, the 17th. In room 43 against her son. So if she shows up to that, she should be sporting that double sling. and if she doesn't show up to that, well, I guess that's something else that'll be dealt with. But I just know, I'm hoping they at least move my date up to January 28th, because I really do want to see this be over and done with. Okay, so after speaking with my attorney, as well as my friend who's an attorney, it was, I guess, and the courthouse, basically, it's to my understanding that I definitely took a misstep when I did the filing. I'm not a professional, so I don't know how to do it. I just know I want to have the judge be aware that I believe my neighbor qualifies as a vexatious litigant due to the fact that she's had so many court cases, due to the fact that she just refuses to accept the answer that I won. And for a whole year now I've been in a courtroom because she keeps finding ways to, I guess, keep me in there. But from what the fact that it was rejected means it hasn't been denied. Technically, at this point, it just means I got to redo it correctly. And I'm understanding that the correct method, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, is to, after I get my notice in the mail tomorrow, as does my neighbor, that it was rejected due to procedural premature filing, which means technically after the case is over with, then I say, Your Honor, sir, I believe. I think that's how it's done. And then say, I'd like to submit this order here. to have Miss Crosnoe deemed a vexatious litigant. I think that's how it's done. I guess what I'm being told is I can't just file the order and just mail it in. Just like the head of the courthouse told me, the presiding judge, Patricia Murphy, said I have to make it an official order. I can't just say it. But I'm going to say it. She's a vexatious litigant. Yes, she is. And whether or not the courts care to recognize that or deem her one, that's all on them at that point. You know, because they're the ones giving her everything for free. But I have to at least get that word out there so that even if it doesn't become an order to have her deemed one, then at least they know that somebody has said they believe she qualifies as a vexatious litigant. Like I said, I don't know anything about the court system. I just know I've been stuck in it for a year because my neighbor just is not nice and just flat out refuses to accept the fact that she lost when she destroyed my fence. And she lost when she told all those lies to get a restraining order. And she lost when I showed what she did. So, yeah, I'm still in the courthouse. I still don't know if the case has been moved up yet, but I'll know soon, I guess. Okay, it is Friday, January the 11th, and I'm just opening up my response from the courthouse regarding Kelly versus Crosnoe, that vexatious litigant filing that I did on Monday, and it says we are unable to process the attached papers for the reasons indicated below. Your document submitted on 1/7 was submitted prematurely and cannot be filed at this time. Pursuant to CCP 391, that's a vexatious litigant filing, a motion must be submitted along with pre-filing order vexatious litigant form. Please seek legal advice from the small claims area in your area. Well, there's still time, right? I guess head over to the courthouse on Monday and see how to file a motion. Maybe the advisor will tell me. I don't know. You know, the Simi Valley Courthouse. He's not really big on telling me anything other than, well, good luck. But yeah, no. So I'm going to call my lawyer actually and find out how to file a motion, because apparently I don't know how to do it. And you know, it really will not help me on any level, because this case is just about over with between my neighbor and I. But I have been stuck in that courthouse for the last year because of my neighbor, and she has been in that courthouse for the last 20 years on a monthly basis and has had over 100 courtroom appearances, all on their dime. So even if I don't actually get to file this vexatious litigant motion, they've seen the paper, the words in their mind. They may on their own at this point in time just take a look at her file just because. Maybe they won't. Maybe again I'm just, you know, naive and hopeful when it comes to the court system. But yeah, I'm hoping today maybe I'll hear that my court date got moved up. I don't know yet. I'm hoping for January 28th. I just know that at least I know that my claim did not get denied. It got rejected because I didn't file the paperwork correctly. Okay, it's a little afternoon and I'm checking, and yeah, no word yet about my court date being moved up. I'll check again after 5 p.m. and then again tomorrow. I'm sure I should know something by tomorrow, because if he accepts and rules that I can move it up to the 28th at least, that's you know, not too far away. But it definitely doesn't look like he would go with the 17th, the day she's already scheduled to be in there, because, you know, I'm positive they don't want to see her have to entail 2 court battles in one day, even though I wouldn't mind watching it. Okay, lights on. I don't think she's tearing down my fence. I mean, she supposedly had double shoulder cup repair surgery, right? That's why my trial against her had been postponed for 6 weeks. So I don't think she's out there doing yard work. And I've just, checked here at the website, the Ventura County website. And it still reflects February 11th, 2019, 9 a.m., courtroom 41, Kelly versus Crosnoe. So at this point in time, there is no confirmation that my request to move that court date up has been approved. I'm hoping it gets moved up to 128. Selfishly, I was hoping it would get moved up to 117 since she did not postpone that court date against your son. But I realize that, one, they're not going to probably force her to have 2 court battles in one day. And 2, it's like 4 days from now, technically, courthouse days, business days. So that's not enough notice for me to, I guess, get there or tell her that she needs to be prepared for another court dispute taking place on the same day. I guess they just don't do that. And, I am curious whether or not, one, she shows up to that court date, and 2, whether or not she shows up to that court date sporting that double sling that she should be wearing. I have not seen her. It's been 5 days since she supposedly had that surgery. I have not seen her. So, I don't have any way of confirming whether or not she's sporting a double sling at this point. But, like I said, I do know that the pre-filing order that I submitted for her being a vexatious litigant was rejected due to my not having all the necessary paperwork. Basically, I thought that form was the motion. But no, I need to have another piece of paper that's motion or petition, something to that effect that explains why I'm, I guess, filing and having her wanting to be deemed or whatever, trying to get her deemed a vexatious litigant. And, technically I don't really even have to do this. I mean, the court on their own can deem her a vexatious litigant. And so I may just let that kind of just hit the back burner there because I've, opened their eyes to the fact that I feel she's a vexatious litigant. That's enough for them to kind of look around and see what else is going on, and maybe they'll discover on their own how many times she's been in that courtroom in the last 20 years and do it on their own. I just know that if I do the actual motion, apparently, it's going to be a little bit more work. And I really, truly just want to focus on being done with this court stuff. So, I think I'm going to maybe perhaps let that vexatious litigant thing just sit there on its own and see what happens on whether or not the Ventura County Courthouse chooses to do anything about it. And just focus on winning my court case that takes place, hopefully, on January 28th. But at this point in time, it's still February the 11th, 2019 at 9 a.m. Kelly versus Crosnoe.